Hello, hockey fans. Austin here. And do you want to improve your play in EA Sports Hockey League or World of Chel? Well, you've come to the right place because in today's video, I'm going to give you the best 3 player classes, custom player classes that you can use, whether you're a forward or defenseman. Sorry, goalies, you're going to have to find someone else to give proper goaltender recommendations. I do not play goalie in World of Chel in clubs, so I cannot help you with that. If you enjoyed today's video, if you find these classes helpful and improve your game, smash the like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe to the channel for NHL 26 content all year long. Let's jump into the first player class I highly recommend you to play. All right, starting things off with defense. Now, this is the defensive defenseman build that I personally run with. I play defense full-time, and I find that this build has been an absolute monster for me early in NHL 26. My X factors include Rocket, Elite Edges, and Truculence, all at All-Star, so there are no Elite X factors, but I don't think you need any Elite X factors for this specific build. Now, when it comes to technique, I dropped the wrist shot accuracy down by 10 to 71, and the slap shot accuracy down by 7. Speed, look at that speed boost. It is cranked all the way up to 97. A defensive defenseman at 97 speed. My goodness gracious, almost unheard of. Balance down to 80. Agility is at 90. Even though I gave my player elite edges, I still think it's important to have agility at least 90. Now, if you want to increase your balance and drop the agility with your elite edges, that's totally fine, or even increase your slap shot accuracy. But the speed is huge. I'm telling you right now, in a game that is built on speed, speed is huge with this build. Now, when it comes to the power aspect, wrist shot power all the way down, slap shot power down to an 82. I have acceleration also up to 97. This player can get up and down the ice. Puck control, I dropped down to an 80. If you're looking to be a player that, battles along the boards a little bit more, trying to get out of those loose puck battles, then maybe you want your puck control up a little bit higher. But I think it's been playing really good at 80 personally. And the endurance I have at 90. You can play around with this, turn the slap shot power down a little bit more if you want, especially since you have Rocket for your shot, and turn endurance up. I find endurance is a little bit harder to manage in this game, but with the speed and acceleration of this player, endurance is something that is important, at least 90 minimum. Now, when it comes to the play style, I have passing at 88. I do not want to be messing up the passes. It is important as a defenseman, get that puck up the ice. I don't have any passing X factors turned on, but passing at 88 is important. I turned offensive awareness basically all the way down. I put it down to a 75. This type of build is not about offense. It is about getting around the ice and cutting off lanes, especially with that speed. Body checking up to 90. I turned stick checking down because I do think body checking is a lot more effective in this game than poke checking. The poke checking just hasn't felt right to me, so I turned stick checking down. However, if they put in a patch that fixes stick checking a little bit, I would probably turn that up. And then defensive awareness, this is something that you can play around with as well. I just left it right at 90. I think that's a good line to have it. I find that 90 defensive awareness is a good balance between intercepting pucks, getting sticks in the lanes, and also finding ways to be in position properly to cut off those cross-seam passes. If you want the defensive awareness a little bit higher, I would recommend turning your passing down or even your body checking down. Now, when it comes to the tenacity, I turned the hand-eye to 84, strength to 90, durability, I turned all the way down to 73. It's not often I get very injured, and with the speed and agility of this class, you're not going to be hit that often. And shot blocking, I also turned all the way down to 80. I just think shot blocking is a little bit overrated, especially in this game when it's all about puck possession and finding those shooting lanes. I don't think shot blocking is the way to go in this one. I think using your speed and agility to pressure players is the way to go. And then last but not least, in tactics, I have deking at 80. Face-offs does not matter for a defenseman. Discipline to a 94 because we do have body checking at 90 and we have truculence turned on. You want to make sure your discipline is as high as it can go so that you're not taking constant penalties for hitting. And I turn the fighting skill literally all the way down to a 71. There's no reason for fighting skill to take up quality points over discipline or deking for this player. This is the perfect defensive defenseman build. It is speed. It is a fast build. It is a speed build. It is agile. You can lay the body. You can put the puck in the net. This build, personally, I absolutely love. This is what I use on the blue line. However, if you want a bit of a different look on the blue line, this next class recommendation is for you. So the next class that we're going to talk about here is the two-way defenseman. If you don't want to play a defensive defenseman, if you want to have a defenseman that has a little bit more offensive instincts to him, I'm going with this 6'2", 175-pound two-way D-man. And the X factors I have on this one are truculence, spark plug, and elite edges. I think spark plug is huge. It gives a boost to your team. It increases the pressure when you're hitting guys in the offensive zone. I really like spark plug with truculence. And then, of course, elite edges, I think, is going to be on most classes this year, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. When it comes to the technique, I have slap shot accuracy at 82, wrist shot accuracy 75. I put speed up to 96, balance to 82, and agility at 91. When it comes to the power aspect, again, wrist shot power way down. However, slap shot power we've turned up to 90. And with the slap shot power at 90, that also will increase the chance that goaltenders are giving up rebounds. If you get a shot in through traffic and the goalie can't see it properly, that shot speed is going to be very important at getting pucks to the net, maybe going for tips, maybe rebounds. That's a good area to have your slap shot power. Acceleration, I put to 96, puck control down to 80, and endurance 91. This is a build where it is a bit more offensive, so you do want to get up and down the ice a little bit more. That endurance has to be up there. Passing, I have at 86. Offensive awareness, I have at 83. Body checking, once again, very high at 90. Stick checking down to 80. And defensive awareness at 90. The hand-eyes at 84. The strength, I've turned all the way up to 89. Durability, 75. Shot blocking at 78. And deking, 81. Face-off, 75. Doesn't matter. Discipline, 94. Fighting skill, all the way down to 69. Nice. If you're looking for a more offensive style defenseman instead of that defensive defenseman that I recommended earlier, this is the one. Instead of spark plug, though, you could put on rocket. If you want to increase that slap shot power even more, or if you want a passing perk, you could put on tape to tape or send it. Highly recommend that as well. And now the third class that I'm going to recommend, this is for your forwards. If you are a forward, this is the player class that I super recommend that everyone should be running this season. All right, so the first forward class that I highly recommend, this is basically for your wingers. This is not going to be for a center build. For a winger, power forward, 6'2", 195 pounds with all-star elite edges, elite backhand beauty, and all-star spark plug. Now, why the heck would I put elite backhand beauty in here? Number one, for backhand beauty, if you did not know, what's new about this perk this season is that your passes on your backhand will be just as accurate and as strong as if you were passing the puck on your forehand. Plus, as a power forward, you want to be in tight towards the goaltenders. Good hand-eye. You get those backhanders over the blocker or glove. Backhand beauty is the perk to have as a forward this season. I also have elite edges for this power forward build and spark plug. Spark plug, again, very important, especially for building that pressure meter and giving your team energy boost, give your team a speed boost. Huge. And best thing about this power forward build in games past, maybe you could get about 94, 95 speed. Once again, we are hitting 97 speed with this build at 6'2", 195 pounds. Wrist shot accuracy, 76. Slap shot accuracy down to 77. Speed is at 97, balance 80, agility 90. You can play around with your speed, balance, and agility if you need to. I don't think the shot accuracy is as important as getting in tight towards the net, backhand beauty activating, and using your body to assert yourself and go for those rebounds. For power, you have wrist shot power at 80, slap shot power at 82, acceleration at 97, a plus 15. That is unbelievable what you're able to do with perks and player classes this season. I have puck control at 83 and endurance at 90. Again, this is a player build that you want going up and down the ice, and a power forward that can just lay the body, spark your team at every chance they can get, having that endurance up so that they can cover all three zones. Very important. Now, when it comes to the play style, I have passing at 90 because I do think as a power forward build, you're going to get a lot of O-zone time and you're going to be trying to find teammates a lot, even though you're going to be in tight around the net. If you can use your body and speed and space, get behind the net, make those passes in front for those 1Ts and tucks into the back door. Passing at 90 is key. Offensive awareness also at 90. Body checking 90. I have stick checking all the way down to 71 and defense awareness at 68. This is not a build that is built to play defense. This is a build meant to knock other players off the puck and get towards the net with your speed and size and tenacity. This build is an absolute monster, and this build is a headache to deal with. Trust me, as a defenseman, when I see someone rocking this power forward build, I get a headache. I don't like playing against it, but I do love playing with it. When it comes to the tenacity, I have hand-eye at 86, strength at 90, durability 75, shot blocking 77. You do not need high shot blocking for this. And for tactics, deking at 83, I think just to make sure you have good good enough hands to get in tight, do a deke on the goaltender for that backhand beauty to activate. Face-offs down to 80 because this is not a face-off build. I will talk about a center build in a moment. Disciplined at 92 and fighting skill down to 70. Now, for my forwards who like to play center, for face-offs, for two-way play, this is the build for you coming up right now. All right, folks, last but not least, this is the perfect two-way forward build if you are playing a center position for face-offs, for hitting, for offense. This is what I personally recommend. Number one, X Factor, elite edges. I think that's just going to be what everyone is rocking this season. I have elite tape to tape because as a centerman, when you're helping down low, you want to be able to be just like your defenseman, get that first outlet pass up the ice. If you're in on 2-on-1s, you want to be able to find your teammates. Tape to tape is the way to go. And spark plug. Yes, spark plug, even though this is not a huge build, it can still hit, and every single hit builds that pressure meter. It gives your team that extra energy that does create the difference in a game. Now, when it comes to the attributes, wrist shot accuracy 80, slap shot accuracy 75. You are not going to be taking slap shots with this, but the wrist shot accuracy you should be leaving at about 80 at minimum. Speed all the way up to 97. Once again, this game is all about speed and agility. Balance 82, agility 90, with elite edges as well. The elite edges, of course, gives a bit of a speed boost too. Now, wrist shot power, 80 minimum. Slap shot power, you can turn all the way down. You are not going to be taking slap shots with this build. Acceleration all the way up to 97. Puck control, 80. And endurance, 95. As a two-way forward, you want to get up and down the ice constantly, and you don't want to be running out of your stamina meter. This is the way to keep your stamina meter full as much as possible during games if you want to play this build as a centerman. Of course, comes the passing at 90. You want to be a very good passer for the rest of your team. If you want to be that responsible two-way center, passing is very, very important. Offensive awareness, also important to keep pucks alive and make sure that you are in positions for teammates to find you and so that you can find them. Body checking I have at 88. This helps with spark plug, of course. Stick checking 80 and defensive awareness 85. I think the defensive side of the game, yes, it's important. I think stick checking at 80 is just fine. And I think defensive awareness at 85 is also good enough. Now, when it comes to tenacity, hand-eye, 85 minimum. Strength, I put all the way up to 89, though you could turn that down a little bit if you wanted to and increase your durability because as a centerman, you're probably going to get hit a decent amount. You don't want to be injured too much. My personal opinion, though, I like the strength up. It helps with the body checking, and it helps spark plug activate when you are hitting people. I think this is great to have. Strength, of course, also good in front of the net and puck battles and corners. Tactics, deking 85, face-offs at 90, discipline 84, fighting skills 68. These are the player classes that I personally recommend in World of Chel for Season 1. Of course, if anything changes, if anything, switches up in terms of the meta, I will be sure to talk about it. But these are the builds that I use. These are the builds that I've been playing for several hours now in the early access period for NHL 26. And these are the player builds that I see a lot of other players using too. These are the builds that I personally recommend. What are your builds that you recommend? Let me know in the comments section below. Keep that conversation going. If you like today's video and you want to see more tips and tricks for NHL 26, smash that like button. And if you really like today's video, make sure to subscribe to the channel as I will be providing NHL 26 content all season long, whether it's EASHL, World of Chel, franchise mode, be a pro, hut, maybe. I don't know. I'm not big into hut. In any case, we'll see you soon, everyone. Take care, and thank you so much for watching.